Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Joe with Carbon Marine. Today, we're going to talk about getting ready for fall. Fall in Central Florida, redfish season. We start getting our regular fronts coming through, predominantly kind of the northwest. So we tend to have days that can be more windy. Windy and fly fishing equals fly line management. If you're not versed in fly line management, it's probably a really good time to start thinking about it, planning for it, learning about it. What I have here to demonstrate some of the points of managing fly line efficiently and effectively is our product, the Line Lair 2. It is a very durable synthetic rubber mat, injection molded, UV stable. And some people say, well, what's the story with the holes and the story with the molded spikes versus the taller spikes? I use the black spikes for contrast for this demonstration, but the reason why the Line Lair 2 works really, really well in these fall conditions is, number one, it's mobile. You can move it from boat to boat. You can take it on your buddy's boat, you can take it on your boat. And the way Tampa Bay is set up, because I'm kind of centric to Tampa Bay, this may carry across all of the west side of Florida because the wind's going to be coming across in fronts, so it tends to come out of the northwest, is you want to be able to move your mat. So if you're left-handed, you're going to be stripping to the right side. If you're right-handed, you're going to be stripping to the left side. And there's some guys out there that can strip and fish with either hand. So portability, adjustability is really important. I'm a big fan of the line tack lights molded to or stuck to the parameter of the bow of the boat, but you're kind of set up in a static arrangement with that. As with the Line Lair 2, in these fall patterns, these windy conditions, you can adjust how much catch you get by adding or taking away a line tack from the mat. I like this setup where you're kind of building a fence. And now I can take this and I can move it to my right side because I am left-handed, so I strip with my right hand. And you can position it. So you'll notice if the wind's, you're getting more of a wind vector, say, in your face, you're going to shift it a little more behind you. If you're getting a wind vector that's more to your right side, you may want to shift it a little bit closer to you or adjust so that you're going to have some influence of the wind carrying that line across. Your goal is to make the landing pad. Think of a parachutist. They jump out of the plane, there's an X on the ground. You want that line landing on this mat. That's the whole idea behind managing the line. Now, this is a common mistake. Folks, when you buy your Line Lair 2, it comes with enough spikes to fill up all these holes. I don't recommend you do that unless you absolutely have to, because there's always trade-offs. Every decision we make, there's a trade-off. There's something we're going to benefit from, but there's something that's going to get induced into the situation that we didn't want. That's the downside of the trade-offs. If you fill this mat, Line Lair 2 mat, up with all of the spikes, it's going to capture the line. But it's also going to induce a lot of friction because that line, depending upon the angle of your cast, some guys cast a lot of sidearm, some guys cast more overhead, and that line is going to come off at different angles. So if all of these holes, there's 21 holes, if all of these holes are full of these taller spikes, that line is going to cross perpendicularly these spikes. It's going to rob energy out of your line. The secret to effective fly line management with a Line Lair 2 mat is finding that sweet spot of enough spikes to capture the line, keep it mounted, managed on the mat, but not so many spikes that when you go to cast, that it's going to rob the energy out of your fly line cast. And that's why I like this configuration. I call it a fence, where you've kind of got a fence around the outside, and this will still pack up and stow relatively well too. The last tip that I would add is make sure, if you're not familiar with aerospace protectorant 303, this stuff is like butter for fly line. It changes everything about how your fly line behaves. It protects your expensive fly lines from ultraviolet light degradation. Fly line's not cheap. Even for me, it's not cheap. I hate having to buy a new fly line year after year because I didn't take care of my fly line. But this will keep the ultraviolet light from breaking down the rubber or the materials, the polymers in the line. It also leaves a lubricant on the line, so the line is slick. So when you spray your Line Lair 2 with 303, and then you spray it on your reel, which I do, or you treat it with one of those little pads, between those two surfaces having that 303, that line is going to transfer a lot more energy. It's like oil in your engine. Your engine ain't going to run without oil in it. This is like oil for your fly line, but it's not oily. It is slippery though, and when it dries, it leaves a film that's lasting. You don't have to lubricate or treat your line every single cast, but I like to do it at the end of the day when I've washed all my gear. I like to spray it, let it sit, because it'll dry and it'll be there ready to go next time. So with these fall winds, the winds coming out of the north, northwest, these fronts, the winds can be dominant. Position yourself so that your mat is where it's going to catch that line before the line gets encumbered or blown off of the boat. That's what I would say you should do for fishing these fall winds when the redfish and the water temperatures drop and the redfish starting to get antsy and they're moving. That would be my biggest tip.